Peace, people. Welcome to the latest episode of Rough Draft. I am your host, Kevin Alberto Savio, and in this episode, I'll be doing another chapter excerpt reading from one of my books. Thank you for tuning into this latest episode of Rough Draft. We are still in the month of July, and so in the month of July, you have the Afro Latino Festival of New York. That will be taking place in Brooklyn, New York, and that will be running from July 22nd to July 26th. So if you could come out to New York and go out to any of their events or any of those available days, please come through and support. Also, you have GalaxyCon Raleigh, so it's another comic book event that they have out here. It's here in Raleigh. That will be running from the 23rd to the 26th. Now for the subject matter at hand. I know what the last episode I read from one of my other books. I'm going to do that again today, so I guess you can consider this a part two. So this time around, I decided to choose my book, Drum Speaking Tales from an Inner City Griot. It is actually my short story anthology. So I have a number of stories in here that I've written. There's actually a collection of 13 different short stories. Um, I'm going to read maybe two. I know I already have one that I've got. So I'm going to be reading one of my short stories, and it's called Father Figure. Mariah's mocha form just sat in the car, dumbfounded and unable to move. He sits parked in front of the house, trying to process all that she had just experienced. All was fine and peaceful until her most recent book signing this afternoon. Her life was undisturbed and full of light, with everything being on upswing. She had her career as an adjunct professor of history at one of the local colleges in Montgomery County in Maryland. I was now celebrating her most recent milestone, that of being a published author. Father Figure, Memoirs of a Conscious Daughter, wasn't just her first book. It was her ode to her father, Kevin Santos, the man that had raised her, that taught her everything she knows, and loved her dearly, despite not being her father by blood. He treated her as his firstborn child, his prized child, teaching her everything, being her hero. And now, my father? A cheat? Mariah just shakes her head. She loved Kevin Santos, the only father that she'd ever known since she was two. His community activism, intelligence, and strident beliefs had always inspired her. His love and dedication to his people always showed her that anything in this world was possible. Even after the birth of her younger siblings, Kevon and KJ, she was still his special girl. It was he that had inspired her to even become a teacher. Not everybody is a soldier in the same way, he would always tell her. Some fight in the streets, while others can fight elsewhere. Making him the subject of her book was her way of thanking him for all that he had done for her, for their entire family. Daddy? A cheater? She just couldn't wrap her mocha head around it. All was fine until her latest book signing at Knowledge at Supreme Bookstore and Cafe. People had come out to support her book, her work colleagues and students, her dad's activist associates, and the many friends and neighbors that they had. It was an exhilarating experience to be loved and supported by so many. It was great for her personally, as a coming out party, and a boon for the owner of the business. At that moment, she felt that life couldn't get any better than this. Then, she had to meet her, Kevina Vina Parrish. Araya was shocked to meet Vina on many different levels. When she first saw her, she looked almost exactly like her younger sister Kevon, with the exception of Kevon being a chocolate brown like their dad, sporting locks, and Vina being a much lighter red bone complexion with relaxed auburn hair. You could have mistaken them for twins. At first, Vina was checking her out from afar, trying to be conspicuous and not making eye contact. Mariah was surprised just on the strength of how strongly she resembled her sister. She stole a few moments of freedom and approached Vina as she was leaving the store. Spying the fact that Vina's copy didn't look brand new, She questioned her as to where she got it, her thoughts on the book if she read it. Vina had purchased a copy when the book was first released and felt a range of different emotions after reading it: pride, anger, disappointment, and resentment. When Mariah questioned her as to why she would have felt such mixed emotions, that's when Vina dropped a bomb on her. Because you got to know him while I didn't. You got to grow up with my father, not me. Needless to say, Mariah didn't take kindly to her remark. She initially thought Vina was some sort of lunatic or whack job, dismissing her claim. She had just stormed off when Vina had said something that made her pause. Ask him about Millicent Parrish from Richmond, Virginia. He'll know her as Milky. Mariah didn't know what to say. Richmond, Virginia was where she was originally born and where her parents had met and married before moving away to Como Park, Maryland. She knew that Kevin had had a life before meeting her and her mother. But this? Mariah just shakes her head, takes a deep breath, and exits her car. She makes her way inside the house, heading for the kitchen. As she enters inside, she sees her mother, Ashley Denise's honey silhouette, cooking over the stove, and Kevin standing next to her, canoodling with each other. She'd always loved seeing how they openly displayed their affection for each other, always showing how a loving couple should treat each other. She lets out a half smile, always enjoying their public displays of affection for each other. Kevin had always set the standard for what Mariah looked for in a mate, seeing how preciously he'd always treated her mother. Mariah pauses briefly and then lets her presence be known with a slight cough. Her parents look over her way and smile. Hey, Mariah, baby. Hey, princess, Kevin says. How'd the book signing go? It was good, Dad. Well attended. Good turnout, she replies, heading for the refrigerator. Thanks for all of your help in promoting it, Dad. Of course, he scoffs. Anything for my princess. Mariah lets a slight smile slide, always grateful for her father's support. She just didn't want to believe what Vina had told her. It just couldn't be true. Kevin is the most honest, most honorable man that she knows. He would never betray his family like that. But she had to know. She pulls a drink out and closes the refrigerator door. She then briefly pauses. Say, Dad? What's up, kiddo? Do you remember a woman named Millicent Parrish from back in Virginia? She turns around and looks at the expression on his face, hoping that she would find nothing but a blank stare, a look of non recognition. Mariah's heart begins to sink when she sees a probing look of familiarity. Millicent Parrish. Millicent Parrish. Why does that name sound so familiar? You might know her better as Milky? Mariah's heart sinks even further as a reminiscent smile flashes across his face. Damn, Kevin heartily replies. You just took me way back. Who's that, baby? Ashley Denise questions. My old downstairs neighbor when I was living in Richmond. It was before we met. Oh, okay. Were you guys friends? Just neighborly. Met her when I first moved out of town from New York. Kevin briefly pauses and then lets out a laugh. She sure was one crazy white girl. Mariah nearly jumps out of her skin, cringing. She's white? Okay, Mr. Angry Activist, Ashley Denise teases. You be nice. I'm just saying. She was really cool, but she had a thing for dark meat. Oh, Ashley Denise laughs. One of those. I get your drift. Yeah. She had it bad. And it was always those knuckleheaded roughneck types, too. Mariah's mocha face looks down, now feeling totally conflicted. Her faith in her beloved father was beginning to shatter. How could this happen? So what brought up Milky? Huh? Mariah responds, coming to. What made you ask about Milky? Did you meet her at your book signing? Um, no, Mariah replies and then pauses. Actually, I met her daughter. She has a daughter? Kevin replies, shocked, pausing momentarily. Oh, well, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. Oh? Mariah asks, her eyebrow now raised. And why is that? Hey, even I had to admit, she was one fine looking woman. Somebody was going to eventually get her to settle down. If only you knew, Mariah thinks to herself. She takes a deep breath and exhales. She'll be in town for another week. She says she'd like to meet you. Really? Kevin replies, smiling. Yeah, apparently her mom told her a bit about you. She'd like to meet the legend herself and know more. Cool. Set it up. I'd love to meet Milky's daughter. Why don't you invite her over for dinner? Ashley Denise asks. No! Mariah responds quickly. Both of her parents look at her, somewhat stunned by her reaction. Mariah quickly recovers. It would be better at a neutral site, like a cafe or something. Okay, Princess, Kevin says. If you think that's best, let's set it up. Okay, Mariah says, breathing a sigh of relief. I'll see when she's free and let you know the day and time. Sounds like a plan. Mariah forces herself to smile at him. She didn't know what to think, what to do. She felt wrong to be setting her father up like that. She also needed answers. She didn't get much from Vina in the first place, but now she wanted to know the whole complete story. Both sides. She was going to get the truth, even if it meant destroying her world. She needed to know for herself. Was he a true father figure or a fraud? So hopefully you enjoyed this reading. I'm hoping that it encouraged you to want to buy a copy of Drum Speaking as well as any of my other books. So thank you so much for paying attention to this latest episode of the Rough Draft. My books are available in paperback format. So if you'd like a copy of any of my books, please go to any of these outlets, which is Author House, Outskirts Press, Create Space, Amazon.com, Barnes and Nobles, Books a Million, and Bookshop.org. My books are also available in ebook format. So if you'd like to digitally download my books and own them that way, hopefully you have access to any of these outlets that they are available on, which is Kindle, Nook, Kobo, Apple Books, Everand, Smashwords, Fable, Bookshop.org, and also internationally through Viblio, Tolino, and Gardeners. My ebooks are also available for libraries. So if you'd like to go to the library and download my works there, hopefully your library has an account with one of these accounts, with one of these distribution channels, which is Overdrive, Hoopla, Cloud Library, and internationally through Viblio Libraries and BarBox to the UK, Australia, and New Zealand. Um, if you would like a copy of any or a piece of any of my clothes from my author clothing line, um, it is available through Spreadshop. So all you'd have to go through is https:// brown hyphen black hyphen fist hyphen year.myspreadshop.com. If you are watching this on YouTube, you know what you need to do. Please like the video. Definitely leave a comment. I would love to hear your feedback. Um, you're saying definitely subscribe to the channel and press the notification button. And when you press the notification button, press the all button. That way you get all the alerts when I upload a new video or when I say something in the community section. So I hope that you enjoyed this particular episode. And you know how I always like to end these. As I always say, keep the fist raised. I am always on my literary grind, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.